I worked in Thurrock as an archaeologist for several years, and on one occasion I happened to be working at Horndon on the Hill, which is actually a fantastic early medieval village, or town really, has a wall market, but not much is known really about the buildings, or very little archaeology had been going on. Nevertheless, an old building was going to be knocked down, and I was asked to go and do a couple of trenches in the foundations of this old house called Mount House. So I had my head down, I was working away by myself and finding some nice medieval pottery, and it was all quite exciting. And suddenly I realised there was somebody looking over the fence staring down at me. And I looked up and the old man, he said, have you found any half crowns? And I thought, that's strange. I've never been asked that question. As an archaeologist, I've often been asked, have you found any gold coins or silver coins or any treasure? Never half crowns. So I said, no, I haven't found any half crowns. I said, but why do you ask? He said, the man who lived here was the village forger. Well, I'm not sure if that's an occupation as such, but nevertheless, that's what he said. And I realised you do get counterfeit coins. I said, when was that then? He said, it was in the 1950s. He lived here and he made half crowns and spent them over the pub counter, and everybody knew that it was a bit dodgy. Well, as a historian, archaeologist, I don't believe anything I'm told, not the first time. I always wait until somebody else tells me from a different direction, or I read an archive maybe. And many, many years later, I was looking in our local newspaper, and sure enough, in the 1950s, there was the report about this gentleman from Horndon being caught. And what happened was that his daughter was given a purse of forged half crowns and told to go and spend it in London and buy goods, and to come back obviously with proper goods but fake money being spent. And she got to Grays railway station, sat on the bench waiting for the train, and by accident her purse fell out of her bag and fell behind the bench. She got on the train, went off to London, and the station master was walking along and saw this purse and took it in, and he was standing there when a local policeman from Grays happened to be walking past. He said, wait a minute. He said, somebody's lost their purse. So they looked inside to see if there was a name inside the purse, but they looked at these coins and thought, wait a minute, these look a bit dodgy. They're not quite the right weight, and they're not very well minted. And the policeman decided they were forged coins. And they're standing there when the young girl comes back on the other train, having realised she's lost her purse, comes back to Grays, walks across and says, oh, that's my purse, thank you for finding it. And they said, oh, I think you better come to the police station. Nevertheless, she goes and her father goes to court, and he gets fined for forging money. And it's about the third time he's done it. So it was a true story, and I was quite pleased to find the end story to it, because a lot of things rattle around in your mind about what people tell you, but that was a fact. Horndon did have its own forger.